Hello there, and welcome back to War Thunder to the 2.28 dev server Sons of Attila, and today I will talk exclusively about the naval vessels, so boats and ships. And the big news are obviously now that we have rank 6, we also have rank 5 premium ships, and as predicted multiple times, it's battleships. Now, this is the first iteration of the dev server. Everything is subject to change, as the Orange Doom loves to talk about, and not everything is apparently implemented. So there we go. I can only talk about what we see right now, but it gives us a very good perspective what will come. A few things up front before I talk about the vehicles. This is strange. The meta will completely change from a cruiser meta where there are like 2 or 3 battleships that will feast upon them. It will be a battleship versus battleship meta. Also, there was talk about decompression. I don't see it right now. Maximum battle rating is still 7.0, and that will be interesting to see how it actually will work out. One of the predictions is that we now will have a battle rating gatekeeper of 6.3. That's my prediction. What do I mean by that? I think that 6.3 will see a lot of down tiers, whereas 6.7 will see a lot of up tiers. It could be different, but that's my prediction, and that will make something like a USS Des Moines still feasible, versus then the 6.7 ships being equal to 7.0 according to the matchmaker. And without further ado, let's go right in. Also, the packs will cost 70 euros, gaijin coins, dollars, whatever your preferred currency is, which is just crazy. And they will not be the best premium battleships in the long run. I'm only speculating here about rank 7 in the far future, but you know, never forget that there is the distinct possibility. We will start with the USS Texas 6.7 in the tech tree, as you just see it. It comes after the Brooklyn, and after that the Arizona, which was switched from after the Nevada to here. And also the Alaska now comes after the Pittsburgh, so a bit of shoveling going around. The Texas is, historically speaking, blessed with one really fancy story. At around D-Day, when it was doing shore bombardment missions with its heavy 14-inch guns, at some point the German troops were driven back out of range of those 14-inch guns because limited elevation, and the captain decided to be really blessed with ingenuity and flooded partially one side of the ship where it basically did no damage, thus creating a list, thus creating an artificial increase in gun elevation, and the increased firing range of those 14-inch guns came as a nasty surprise to certain German troops, and that was the historical bit. Let's talk about the year. It is 1945. Yet you have no heavy AA to speak of. Those 5-inch 51s are anti-ship ones, just 3 of them, basically pointless. The next thing is that we have 10 14-inch guns in twin turrets, and sadly the maximum reload is, or the minimum reload is still 40 seconds, just like with the Nevada and the Arizona. And then we come to the speed, very slow, 38 kilometers per hour. But it has an anti-torpedo protection system absorbing 250 kilograms of blast. Then we come to finally the armor, and we have an all or nothing armor scheme, and it's a roughly 12 inches on the bulkheads. It is 11 inches, so you can in theory angle it, but then you have horrible firing angles, it seems, with all the additional AA. So even here that looks awful, so maybe here that doesn't really give you a good increase in armor thickness. Also, deck plating here is relatively thin above the magazines, out of all things, with 45 millimeters, and then below that splinter catcher of 38 millimeters, and behind this belt there is no turtleback. And that's a bad thing if you look at the magazines. They're right at the waterline. 1, 2, 3 separate ones. It will be actually difficult to miss them. So not good, I guess. Not really the best. Thankfully, the USS Arkansas, I think that's how you pronounce it, is equipped with 12-inch guns. And first things first, their reload comes as a nice surprise. It's down to 27.8. So that is a massive DPM increase compared to the Texas. The shells do not have that much penetration. You only have HE and the AP. And yeah, compare this to the USS Texas. Those 14-inch guns have significantly more punch and the HE more yield. Back to the Arkansas in its 1942 configuration. It has worse AA, that's the old AA layout, also no real heavy AA. But the armor, it is, what's that, 11 inches, and here we have also 11 inches roughly, so that's nice to angle. The deck is significantly better with over 100 millimeter and 114. Just here over the machinery, it's 3 inches. So there is that. That seems to be good armor, but just like with the Texas, the magazines are right at the waterline, and it's even bigger central magazine. Also difficult to miss, actually. So that's the Americans. Let's come to the Germans, and we start with the Drache from the coastal fleet, which comes after the MZ1 and before the Albatross, battle rating 3.3. It's a big boat, I guess, and can soak up probably a lot of damage. So normal small patrol boats have no chance against this. It's a lot of empty space. The ammo racks are really tiny if you exclude here the naval mines, which are optional, and just here this counts as an ammo storage that might be actually hittable, but again, a lot of space to go through. And slow, 28 kilometers per hour. The interesting part is that you have basically 2 whirlwinds facing forwards and to the side. So forget about the 37s, those are the single mounts, the single shots. Yeah, and the 88, well, it has an interesting, yeah, you basically have the Tiger gun. So this is also a fragmentation incendiary shell. And we have basically the Tiger AP. And we also have some depth charges. So if you can get to a cap, maybe you get told, you can really plant mines everywhere, 40 of them, and those are big nasty mines. Then we come to the German bluewater fleet tech tree, and you can see Scharnhorst and Bayern being rank 6, and the rank 5 premium is the SMS Nassau, which is a Nassau class, same as the Westfalen. If you like the Westfalen, good. If you don't like it, bad. Problem is only 11-inch guns, 12 of them, but in a hexagonal layout, meaning maximum broadside is 8 guns. But fear not, the DPM is still very good due to a 20-second reload. But you only have a limited ammo supply, and the ammunition isn't that good. It is significantly worse than the much more modern Scharnhorst 11-inch guns, especially at 10 kilometers range, where a lot of ships spawn at around this distance, where you are roughly only half what the Scharnhorst or the 14-inch guns for the Texas has, as an example. You also have no HE, but the SAP is also usable versus cruisers. Torpedoes, just forget about them. Then we have no torpedo protection system, and we are really slow with 37 kilometers per hour. The belt is quite nice with 290 millimeters, so that's above 11 inches. We have a distributed armor scheme, and here you can see that the deck is also not that strong. Turtleback is 58 millimeters. further enhanced by coal bunkers. So I think that the best shot you can have is at the front magazine, and yeah, best to not angle in that ship. And as you can see, the magazines are also at the waterline, but there is quite the distance, and thick side plating, turtleback, and coal bunkers to stop a lot of shells. So is this ship good? We will see. Back in the days, I really liked the Westfalen, but it was versus different opposition. 6.3 might see a lot of down tiers, might be there with a lot of heavy cruisers, and they will hate this thing. 20-second reload, 11-inch guns, you name it. So that brings us to the Russians, or the Soviet Union, whatever you want to call it, and we have no coastal fleet, and this is the rearranged tech tree for the bluewater. And as the premium battleship, we have the Sevastopol class Marat in its 1941 configuration. And first things first, the reload for those 12-inch guns is a nice 27.2 seconds. And let's have a look at the ammo. So we have the light HE, I think. Then we have the heavy HE. Then we have AP with still decent penetration value and a good bursting charge. And then the mighty SAP, also decent penetration, or rather good penetration, and a hefty yield, especially for 12-inch guns. And for the 120 secondaries, we have HE and SAP, and the torpedoes, just like with the German Dreadnought, forget about them. They are not enough, too low yield, slow, short range, you name it. The ship looks good though, I like the style of this. Armor is only 225 millimeters, that's roughly 9 inches. Distributed armor scheme. Deck is relatively thin, it's multiple decks. Turret faces are 8 inches and angled, not that easy to crack. And then here comes the big surprise. Apparently no turtleback, but look how deep in the ship the magazines are. They are very, very, very well hidden below the waterline. So you have to kill this thing by 1,000 cuts. Take the turrets, take the barbettes numerous times, try to knock out the machinery. This is a nasty boy to deal with, in my opinion. That's my prediction. And yeah, it also has a strong lineup at 6-7. Then Great Britain. I said Great Britain. Here we have nothing. We have no boat, we have no ship. That's more than an insult. Like, it should be normal that Britain gets also raised with a good premium battleship and with more at rank 6. But that's just my opinion. Then we come to Japan, and this is how the tech tree looks. We have the Fuso, Hyuga, Ise, and one of the 2 Kongos that we have now in the game at rank 6. And no rank 5 premium battleship. I also think that we will see something. And for Coastal Fleet, we have the PT-808, and that is nothing really special. We have, sadly, the torpedoes that are not very good. Only 100 kilograms of TNT, that's just not good. And those 7.2-inch T-37 bombs might be fun, but not really deciding. 240 millimeters, that's nice. Speed is not really that fast for a boat of that size, so not really worth talking about, aside that it comes after the Type K7. That brings us to Italy, and Italy has nothing. So yeah, the Duilio is now at rank 6, and that's all. It would be a real shocker to me personally if Gaijin would not give the Italians a well-deserved premium battleship, because, well, that would be almost French style. And I am so sorry for all of the people that bought the Duplex, whatever you want to pronounce it, last patch, or the still there being patch, because Colbert with a talisman, yeah, but this thing for, what was it, $60? It's really scratching the bottom of the barrel there, and the Lorraine is not really worth of rank 6 because of its performance. Well, it's not outright unusable, but compared to what other nations have, the inequality is just absurd, and I hope that Gaijin addresses this with the second dev server. I'm really interested in how the meta will play out. I'm really interested in what actually will be the most played battleship, what people are after. Really looking forward to this. Battleship versus battleship fleet combat will be interesting. Versus those premium battleships, I see Scharnhorst being just rubbing its hands in glee. That will be interesting. So it will, there will be a lot of opportunities for Gaijin to make life miserable, even more miserable for naval captains. A lot of speculation there. We'll see how it actually plays out. And that's it for me today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Please give this a like if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more. Let me know in the comment section what you think about Gaijin's decision making, naval side, and we'll see each other on the battlefields, in the skies, and on the waves of War Thunder.